Well, hello once again. It's been a while. It's now 2019, almost done with 2019. Finally getting around to working on the front side. Got all the parts. I YouTubed my life away and read through all of the repair factory service manual and got all the information, took a ton of notes. Main reason I wanted to read through all of my processes was to see if there was anything that I could do that would not have to unbolt and rebolt and unbolt again various items. So the first thing that's on the list is going to be the front struts, because if you unbolt the front struts in the tie rod ends and the lower control arms and then you pull out the axles, your steering knuckle has nothing to support it. So I'll do the front struts first, and as I read through everything, the front struts can get done, and then I'll leave that alone. I won't have to undo bolts and redo bolts. Main thing is, the two things that I've found that are one-time use parts are the ball joint pinch bolt. It didn't say the nut, but I got new nuts too. Ball joint and pinch bolt are one-time use items, as well as the clips that hold down the gear shift cables onto the transmission. Those clips are one-time use. I didn't get those yet because that's not going to happen right now, but I got all the necessary tools that I might possibly need from Advanced Auto Parts. The guy over here in Huntersville is really awesome. Everybody in there looked at me like I was crazy because I came in my business clothes, renting a whole bunch of tools. But anyway, I'm going to work on it this week. I got vacation. And if I don't finish something up, I'll make sure it's in a position to drive, and then I'll finish it up. I got vacation again in November. So, as we all know, left-hand side here where the timing belt is, that's not going to happen first. Well, anyway, timing belt, water pump, all the pulleys. Got to disassemble a bunch of stuff, hold the engine in position. And then interesting thing to note, too, is that when you're finally done, you have to supposedly readjust the upper and lower motor mounts to position them for 119 millimeters. There's some spec in the manual. I'll figure that all out. I'm kind of going to go with the theory that if I don't move it, I don't have to do anything to it, but I'll check it out just in case. And then, of course, the transmission, pulling that out, and battery, airbox, all that good stuff. Go ahead and get to the clutch fork pivot ball, throwout bearing, clutch also. I'm in there, might as well do it. And then moving on. And kind of like what I was talking about earlier a minute ago with the supporting everything. It's kind of a bad video. Let me get some light. Start on the left side. Left side's a lot easier and far less complicated, less stuff to get out of the way than the right side is. So anyway, there's the strut, steering knuckle, tie rod end, lower control arm, and yeah, if you disconnect all that, steering knuckle's got nothing to hold it in place. So I'm going to do the steering knuckle, or the strut first, and then I will move on to the lower control arm. Is pretty easy to get to on this side, tie rod end. And once I'm done with everything, I'll take it over to my local shop and have them check the alignment just to make sure there's nothing out of whack, since all these parts are old and they're going to be brand new here momentarily. I just want to make sure that nothing has shifted or tweaked or whatever. The car is 14 years old, so I'm sure some metal has moved around or bent a little bit, but anyway, we'll take care of that. And here's the transmission. That's all going to get dropped out. And I'll clean everything up, put it all back together, try to make it as newish looking as possible without going overboard. As you can see, caliper has been replaced. Local junkyard has a bunch of parts, so I'm probably going to go over there, hit them up, and get a bunch of different stuff and get everything taken care of. But anyway, it's kind of where I'm at. Struts today, shouldn't be too long. Famous last words as always for every mechanic, but that's what's going to happen. We'll see you.